Welcome to Proofpoint's how-to video tutorial series, which is aimed at sharing Proofpoint's professional services best practices for configuring the Proofpoint protection server's features and functionalities. This video tutorial demonstrates how an administrator can create and apply an inbound spam policy to a group using the Proofpoint protection server. Creating an inbound spam policy is a two-step process, beginning with defining the policy and then creating rules for that policy. To create a new policy, select the Email Protection tab at the top of the screen and then access the Spam Detection, Policies, and Policies page. To add a new policy, click on the Add Policy button. Name the new policy Inbound and then provide a brief description. Because this policy will be based on the default, we will keep the clone setting as default. Next, click Save Changes to create the inbound spam policy. The Proofpoint Protection Server provides several pre-configured spam detection rules that you can use immediately. To change or edit a spam policy rule, select the Edit button. We will start with the first rule at the top, titled Malware Spam. Malware spam is considered the most dangerous and is above all other spam rules that send copies to the quarantine. Messages that contain known threats and messages with attachments that contain known threats are classified as malware spam. The malware rule has a spam score of 50. Messages caught by this rule are quarantined in the malware folder. To return to the rules page while maintaining our default settings, click the Cancel button. Phishing can be defined as defrauding an online account holder of financial information by posing as a legitimate company. Phish spam messages caught by this rule are quarantined in the Phish folder. This rule is configured conservatively by default. To make sure that we are not evaluating for spam, edit the rule by clearing the spam checkbox. The Phish spam score can be conservatively set for 80. After verifying the Phish quarantine folder, click the Save Changes button. Imposter spam is intended to identify messages from attackers who attempt to defraud your organization by spoofing a high-level employee. The imposter spam classification uses scoring derived from the Stateful Composite Scoring Service, or SCSS. The next rule in our inbound policy is Inbound Spam Definite. Definite spam discards messages that have a score of 100. To give administrators the ability to audit these spam messages, create a quarantine folder titled Definite Spam. Next, click the Save Changes button to return to the policy list. Many organizations do not want pornography or adult-natured spam to show up in user digests. In this example, we'll keep the default selections for the checkboxes as well as the quarantine folder titled Adult Spam. Afterwards, click the Cancel button to maintain the default settings and return to the Policy Rules page. The remaining policy rules below are grouped into lower-level spam, as they have spam scores of between 50 and 99. Spam quarantined messages that score 50 and above are discarded, and copies are sent to the quarantine folder. Click the Cancel button to maintain the default settings for spam quarantined messages and return to the Policy Rules page. Another policy rule that we highly recommend that you enable is bulk email. Newsletters and advertisements are typically classified as bulk email. By default, bulk email is delivered to users' inboxes and is also visible to users in their email digests and web application. This allows users to determine if they wish to continue receiving bulk email from the sender. After verifying that the bulk rule is enabled and the checkbox score and folder name are accurate, click the Save Changes button to return to the Policy Rules page. Messages suspected of being spam that score 80 or above are stored in a Suspected Spam folder for a period of time until new spam MLX definitions are available. Messages are then refiltered for spam after the new definitions are available. After verifying that the rule is enabled and the checkbox score and folder name are accurate, click on the Save Changes button to return to the Policy Rules page. The Not Spam rule is unique in that its condition cannot be modified and the rule cannot be disabled, removed, or reordered in the list of rules. You can modify the dispositions of this rule if you wish. The Not Spam rule should always be the bottom rule, as it's meant to protect the administrator. If you moved this rule higher on the list, it would possibly cause spam to enter your email infrastructure. If you deleted this rule, it would cause some set of messages not to be scored at all. The additional rules at the bottom are labeled as Block and Safe. These rules are enabled and are based on both the organizational safe and blocked lists. Remember to review your inbound spam policy to ensure that the appropriate rules have been enabled. Next, click on the Save Changes button. To add a group to our recently created inbound spam policy, select the Systems tab and locate the User Management module. The hierarchy is listed in the menu as Organization, Suborgs, Groups, and Users. A group policy, located closer to the user within the hierarchy, will take policy precedence over an organization policy. In this example, we will select Groups to add our recently created inbound spam policy. Within the Groups page, click the Add button. On the Group tab of the Add Group pop-up window, enter a name and description for the group, and then select the Create Domain Group checkbox to create a domain group. To choose domains from the pre-populated inbound-outbound domains list, click on the Select Domains from List radio button. Then, move the domains from this list to the Selected Domains list. Select the Filter tab and then click on the Spam Policy drop-down to select the inbound policy that we previously created. Click the Add Entry button to create your domain group. At this point, any inbound email for this group will be filtered through the recently created inbound spam policy. In addition, this policy will take precedent over the organizational and sub-org policies for our recently created group. As we view the groups list, we can see the new group that was just created as well as the associated policy. Thank you for watching our brief video on how an administrator can create and apply an inbound spam policy to a group using the Proofpoint Protection Server. For additional information on our products, visit our knowledge base at https://kb.proofpoint.com. For questions, comments, or feedback on this tutorial, please email us at training@proofpoint.com.